A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to this Sunday's edition of Primetime News, coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
Sri Lanka beat Pakistan and wins the Hong Kong Sixers.
What a way to finish the very difficult stand out for 72.
We will develop the country, will not give up. President Ranaya gives an assurance in Nuwara Eliya.
මේ ආණ්ඩුව ආයේ කපේකට වටන්න බෑ ඔක්කොම මතක තියාගන්න. හොඳයි.
15 ambassadors and high commissioners recalled.
ඉදිරියේදී අපි අගයීමක් කරනවා තානාපති සේවයේ අදාළ රාජකාරිය මැනවින් ඉටු කරාද නැද්ද කියන එක පිළිබඳව.
Is Ranjit spending legitimate money? Party representatives make another revelation.
අපේක්ෂකව දිස්ත්‍රික්ක නාමයක 160ක් ඉන්නවා 160ට පළවෙනි වටේ ලක්ෂ 10 ගානේ දුන්නා. දලි රාජා මේ පක්ෂයට කෝටි 40ක් 50ක් 100ක් මේ වෙනකොට වියදම් කරලා තියෙනවා.
Lohan Ratwatte transferred from the prison hospital to the national hospital. Security at places of worship has not been reduced. A clarification from the Ministry of Defence.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
And now the stories in detail. After many years, the Sri Lankan team emerged champions at the Hong Kong Sixers cricket tournament today. Buddhimin Amaravikrama brings you more details about it.
Today is a victorious and a memorable day for Sri Lanka, as Sri Lanka wrote history by beating Pakistan in the Hong Kong Sixers cricket tournament to clinch the title after 17 years.
The Hong Kong Sixers cricket tournament was held in Hong Kong with the participation of 12 teams. Sri Lanka defeated Bangladesh while Pakistan beat Australia in the semi-finals to qualify for the final of the tournament. After being put into bat first in the final, Pakistan lost 2 early wickets in the first over bowled by Sri Lanka's Dhananjay Lakshan. Thanindra Ratnayaka, who bowled the second over, also took 2 more wickets.
Bowled! Horrible looking shot! 2 in this first over.
Mohammad Akhlaq was the highest scorer for Pakistan with 48 runs. Sri Lanka cruised to the target with ease as Sandun Virakodi once again set the tone at the top order with a knock of 34 runs. Captain Lahir Madhushankar scored 19 runs. Sri Lanka chased down the target in 5 overs after having lost only 3 wickets.
What a way to finish the 2024 Hong Kong Sixers. Pakistan out for 72. And in reply, it's Sri Lanka who win by 3 wickets.
This victory marks a momentous occasion for Sri Lanka as the island nation celebrates this win after 17 years, having last claimed the title in 2007.
President Anrukumara Dissanayaka emphasized that the opportunity given to the National People's Power at the presidential election will not be wasted and that the country will most definitely be developed. He made these remarks while addressing a rally in Nuwara Eliya this morning.
Another public rally of the National People's Power in the run-up to the 2024 general election was held in Nuwara Eliya this morning.
ජාතික ජනබලවේගයේ ආණ්ඩුවට
This power that has been given is more than enough for the National People's Power to continue to govern this country as usual. After the general election, money can be given to members of parliament, a government can be formed and the process can continue. If we were taking the old path, simply having the presidency alone is enough. The cabinet is appointed by the president. When members of parliament come from different parties, the president can promise them ministerial positions and perks and gather the 113 members of parliament that he needs. But are we asking you for a government to take the old path? If the people wanted to take the old path, the people would not have voted for the National People's Power. There are enough of leaders who want to go on the old path, so much so that they won't even leave after losing the election. They have never won an election, but they are still hanging on. When we try to get rid of frogs at our houses, they turn back and start coming back towards the house. No matter how many elections they lose, they try to come back. They are like frogs at your homes. Why did the people defeat all those kinds of politics? They didn't want to take the old path. We must take the path that will develop our country. If we are to take that path, having the office of the president alone is not enough. What should be done then? To create this new transformation in the country, on the 14th of November, we must create a strong government. Therefore, we must become members of the great Shramadana on the 14th of this month that will cleanse this parliament. Some are asking the people to send politicians with experience to parliament. Can we take a new path without electing new people? What will happen if the same old people are elected? The same old path. Was the old path good? No, it was bad. It is because the old path was bad that they lost the presidential election. They still think that the people are waiting to take the old path. No, the people are waiting to take this new path. It is those people who must fill the parliament with members of the Malimava on the 14th of November.
President Andra Kumar Dissanayake also responded to allegations made by former President Ranil Wickremesinghe on the subject of increasing salaries of state sector employees.
The former leader is saying that he had passed a cabinet paper to increase salaries of public sector employees and that the money was also available. He should have given it then. State sector employees went on strike for several days demanding a salary increase. He was silent then. Non-academic staff at universities went on strike for 3 months, demanding for a salary increment. He was still silent. But after he lost the election, he says that a cabinet paper was passed and the money was also available. He should have given it to them then. We say that the cabinet decisions taken by his cabinet are irrelevant. Whether or not he allocated money is irrelevant. We as the government of the National People's Power will increase the salaries of public sector employees in our very first budget. The people of Nuwara Eliya know the truth behind him increasing salaries. He came out on May Day and said that he will give you a salary of 1,700 rupees. But even today, you haven't got that. He has lost the election and even gone home. We are ready to give the estate workers a reasonable increase in their wages.
අද තාමන පෙරදිලා ගෙදර ගිහිල්ලත් ඉවරයි. අපි සාධාරණ වැටුප් පැඩකිරීමක් වතු ශේත්‍රය වැඩ කරන ජනතාවට ලබා දෙන්න සූදානම්.
The president also spoke about the foreign service of the country.
We will completely reform our foreign service. Many of the people who have been sent for foreign service are politicians. We took a decision to recall all of them. The person appointed as the High Commissioner to the United Kingdom had harassed the domestic worker. Complaints have been lodged there. The image of our country is gone. We immediately recalled them. Then there are the second and third officers. We recalled them as well. Many of them are children of politicians. We recalled all of them. We will focus on the role of the embassies in bringing in investment into the country. We will entrust our ambassadors with the responsibility to find foreign markets for our goods. Therefore, what has been created is an opportunity to do away with the leadership that has been destroying the country for so long and start to develop the country. We will assure you that we will not lose this opportunity. We will definitely develop this country. Remember that this government cannot be broken.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has decided to recall ambassadors and high commissioners from 15 countries. As detailed in a letter in this regard has been issued by the Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
This decision affects officials in positions that are not part of the Sri Lanka Foreign Service. Notable individuals among those recalled include Permanent Representative to the United Nations in New York and former Chief Justice Mohan Peres, British High Commissioner and former Foreign Minister Rohita Bogolagama, Indian High Commissioner, former Ambassador Shenuka Seniviratna, Sri Lanka's High Commissioner to Australia and former Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Chitrangani Vagishwara, Ambassador to Japan Rodney Pereira, Malaysian High Commissioner, former Air Force Chief Sumangala Dias, Ambassador of Nepal, former Air Force Commander Sudarshan Patirana, Cuban Ambassador, former Navy Commander Nishanto Lugetana, High Commissioner of Pakistan, former Navy Commander Ravindra Vijay Gunaratna, Ambassador of the United Arab Emirates, Udaya Indraratna, High Commissioner of Kenya V. Kananathan, High Commissioner of Seychelles and brother of the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's wife, Shrimal Vikramasinghe, and Iranian Ambassador Mohammad Shahid. The ministry has said that based on the advice of the subject minister Vigil Herath, suitable candidates from the Foreign Service will be appointed to these positions in the future. Foreign Minister Vigil Herath expressed these views regarding the decision after a program held in Kadawata today.
We have decided to recall ambassadors and high commissioners who have been sent as political appointees. We have informed them to return to Sri Lanka by the 1st of December. Also, sons, wives, daughters and other relatives of former ministers and parliamentarians were among those political appointees who were recalled. They have also been informed to return to Sri Lanka within a month. For the moment, we have only recalled them back to the island. An evaluation regarding whether they carried out their duties at the embassy will be carried out in the future. Several accusations have been leveled against certain individuals and we will investigate these allegations. There are claims that some high commissioners and ambassadors have misused government funds through excessive and unnecessary spending. These allegations have not yet been proven. We will not be taking any disciplinary action until these allegations are proved. But we will recall them to the country. Isn't it good to throw away old clothes and wear new clothes? Adopting new ideas is good for both the country and the media ethics. We have not laid our hands on the media. If we had laid hands on it, then they wouldn't publish such false propaganda. It is because we have not touched the media that they are using their freedom to do all of these things. Therefore, we request certain individuals and groups not to create such a situation.
Sri Lanka Decides.
Colombo district candidate of the United Democratic Voice Prasanna Adhikari convened a media briefing today and spoke about those funding his party led by Ranjit Ranaya.
The Colombo district candidate of the United Democratic Voice, Prasanna Adhikari, had convened the media briefing at the N.M. Pereira Centre in Borella.
During the past few days, the media spokesperson of the United Democratic Voice, Ravi Kumudesh, was saying that Subhaskaran Aliraja, who is an investor of the United Democratic Front, had given money to several political parties in the past. That was proved yesterday when Mohan Pereira, who is contesting under the symbol of the post box, went and filed a complaint stating that his party leader was given 150 million rupees by Subhaskaran Aliraja and requested the Election Commission to investigate this matter. Also, Kader Mastan, who is contesting in the Vanni district, I would like to ask you, how much of money did you get from Aliraja? Are you conducting your campaign with his money? Also, Ranjit Ranaya is saying that Aliraja has no connection to the party. Ravi Kumudesh is also saying that there is no connection, but we will prove this connection. Who is the general secretary of this party? Is it Jai Seelan? When we looked into who Jai Seelan is, he is a director of Leica Mobile. Also, he is a director of the Leica Jnanam Foundation. He is a director of the Singapore Blue Summit Capital Management. Who do all of these companies belong to? All of these companies come under Petico Commercio International. That company is under Aliraja Subhaskaran. Money is being pumped to send a group of people into parliament. This is his political gamble. The next matter is that Ravi Kumudesh is continuing to say that the candidates were not given money. I say that money was given. There are 160 candidates for 9 districts. In the first round, each candidate was given 1 million rupees each. Ravi Kumudesh also took money. Aliraja has spent about 400 to 500 million rupees on this party. If not, this party cannot carry out a campaign like this. Ranjit Ranaya was saying that only people with legitimate money are helping him. We then looked into if Aliraja's money is legitimate or black money. In France, one of his companies has been found guilty and punished for money laundering. laundering and tax evasion. In England, he had given large sums of money to political parties as bribes. He had evaded taxes and investigations are being conducted on charges of money laundering. In India, there has been a complaint lodged that his companies are involved in money laundering and the Indian intelligence units in India are raiding his companies. In Australia, there is an allegation against Ali Raja Subhashkaran that he had disclosed details about Australian consumers. He was fined $600,000. What is Sri Lanka to a person who had stolen information of Australians? Why is Ali Raja Subhashkaran in Sri Lanka? He has companies in 26 countries. But why is he in Sri Lanka? He is in Sri Lanka because he cannot go to these other countries because investigations are being conducted against him and his companies are being raided.
Meanwhile, Colombo district candidate of the United Democratic Voice, Pradip Charles, had also arrived at the location where the media briefing was being held.
The entire country can understand that they are carrying out a contract of a media organization. We know the contract that he has been given. They called me as well and offered me 15 million and a seat at the provincial council and for my advertisements to be continuously broadcasted on those channels. Last week during a press conference that was held right here, he said that he engaged in politics while riding a bicycle and that he needs money. But by today, he has a vehicle going in front of him. He has security guards. He has a defender. It is clear why he is doing this.
The leader of the United Democratic Voice, Ranjit Ranaya, rejected the accusations levelled against his party at a public meeting held in Halyala today.
අපේ පක්ෂයට මේ ටිකේ එක දිගටම ප්‍රහාර එල්ල කරනවා. ලොකු නාලිකා.
These days, our party is constantly being attacked. We are being attacked by big media channels and rich people behind these media channels. They say that various businessmen are helping our party. They say that various diasporas are helping us. I would like to say that the diasporas from all countries are helping us because our policies are good and because we are definitely doing something good for the country.
ඩයස්ලත් උදව් කරනවා පෝරලත් උදව් කරනවා සියලුම රටවල සියලුම ඩයස්පෝරා අපිට උදව් කරනවා කියන එක නං ஒரு முறை சொன்னா 100 முறை சொன்ன மாதிரிடா හැමදාම එක කතා කළේ කෙලින් කතා කළේ භාෂා ඕ ඇන්ටනීඩා භාෂාඩා ඇන්ටනීඩා භාෂාඩා භාෂා එන්න ඕන පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට මම හැමදාම කිව්වා අම්මා පල්ල ජේසු පල්ල බුදුන් පල්ල විශ්වාස කරනවා නම් විශ්වාස කරපල්ලා අපි කවදා
I have always said that if you want to believe it, believe it. We will never work against the people. We will never support businessmen who destroy this country. I am clearly saying that we are working with democratic people who are friendly to us and people who love our country and all communities and all religions in this country.
මල්ට ආදරේ ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී මිනිස්සු එක්කයි කියන එක මම පැහැදිලිව කියනවා. විශ්වාස කරනවා නම් විශ්වාස කරපල්ලා නැත්තම් ඇත්තට විශ්වාස කරපල්ලා.
Meanwhile, the Sri Lanka Permauna responded to an allegation made by the leader of the United Democratic Voice, Ranjit Ranaya, regarding the Rajapaksa family.
If this government wants to bring back the money that was stolen by the Rajapaksas, we need Dilip Jayveera in parliament so that we can question him on where the money is, because he is the one who knows exactly where the Rajapaksas have hidden their money.
රාජපක්ෂලා කොහෙද සල්ලි හංගලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා හරියටම දන්නේ දිලිප් ජයවීර.
Ranjit Ranaya.
I'm happy that our party has not fallen to the point where we respond to statements made by people like Ranjit Ranaya.
තියක ගැන මම සන්තෝෂයි.
Prabha Ganeshan and Niruksha Kumara of the Democratic National Alliance, who were accused yesterday of receiving 150 million rupees from the Lanka mobile company, held a media briefing today to respond to the allegations.
There is no need for us to take money from such a company, and there is no need for them to give us any money at all. He claims that we received 150 million rupees, and if that were proved, we could go to courts. and tomorrow demand a compensation of 100 million. If this is proved, I would quit my leadership and disperse the party. There is a huge contract behind this accusation. I do not know who is a part of it. We are here as the country's third force. There is a singular proverb. We will not fear these things and step back. The people present here are all people with clean records.
පිරිසිදු කට්ටිය මෙතන වෙලා ඉන්නේ. පක්ෂයේ සභාපති විදියට පහුගියලා අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වුණා මොහන් පෙරේරා මැතිතුමා.
Mohan Pereira joined the party as the chairman recently. The party's central committee has decided to suspend the temporarily appointed chairman until the 11th. If he does not submit proof for his allegations after the 11th, he would be permanently dismissed. It is in this kind of state that this organizer named Kirti is raising such allegations. We are telling him that we are sending letters of demand. He mentioned my name. I am asking for 100 million, and the secretary also sends 3 letters of demand. I will be going to the CID to file a complaint about this serious allegation.
සියලු තැන්වලට අපි පැමිණිලි කරනවා මේ බරපතල චෝදනාව සම්බන්ධයෙන්.
Vasanta Kumara Kirtiratna, the Kegol district candidate of the Democratic National Alliance, held a media briefing today to clarify the issues related to the allegations.
I have been receiving calls since last night questioning what I did and that it could have been solved within the party itself. We already tried to solve it within the party, and because those efforts failed, we had to reveal this to the media. I doubt as to if we have gathered on behalf of the LTT representatives. If money was taken from Ali Raja Subhaskaran, then it should have been distributed among the candidates. It did not happen. I have received approximately 590,000 rupees. Not even 5 cents was given to this man. The chairman says he put 290,000 rupees. To whom was the money sent? I am going to the CID to file a complaint regarding this matter. Have these people established this party in order to promote the LTTE?
These were the views shared by Hun Premachandra, the Colombo district candidate for the Samaki Jana Bala Sandhana, regarding people who buy their votes.
There are people from our party that spend a great deal of money. I know some people who approach faction leaders and ask them to find them 500 votes from the ballot box and then promise them that after the votes are counted, they would transfer 2 to 5 lakhs to their accounts. Whose votes are these? The money is taken by someone else and you're not aware of the fact that you end up voting for the politician offering money. What kind of injustice is this? When you approach the person that buys their votes and ask them to do something for you, that person points out that you voted for the money and that there is absolutely no connection between the two.
News First with the people. A clean parliament powered by NPP Jatika Janabalavegya.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
A clean parliament powered by NPP Jatika Janabalavegya.
When we are looking at international education, it's about how do we modernise it whilst keeping its traditional values, and how do we make it relevant to societies globally.
I'm going to live with regret for the rest of my life if I don't complete what I have started, and I thought I had to go back and do it, and that's how it all began.
The way things are going, the youth are only thinking of leaving the country, and if the next generation is not committed to staying here and rebuilding the country, that will be a huge setback.
Economic policy thinking is very weak inside government.
I think the public is the best watchdog in terms of corruption.
The People's Platform. A clean parliament powered by NPP Jatika Janabalavegya.
Companies play better politics than the politicians of today.
We are not supposed to play with the people's expectation. Then it will be a huge disaster.
When you're bankrupt and when you're going to bankruptcy, two different.
The grandfather is saying it is going to take this long. What does he know?
It's about the lack of sense of humor in Sri Lankans.
Issues that matter the most. Unfiltered discussions. Real answers. Face to face. Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m. on TV1.
A clean parliament powered by NPP Jatika Janabalavegya.
You're with News First. Former State Minister Lohan Ratwata has been transferred from the prison hospital to the Colombo National Hospital.
Former State Minister Lohan Ratwatte was arrested and remanded on the 31st of October over the discovery of an unregistered luxury jeep in Merihana. He was arrested on charges of using a vehicle that was assembled unlawfully. After being remanded, he was sent to the prison hospital for treatment based on a court order. Prison spokesperson Kamini Disanayake said that he was transferred to the Colombo National Hospital today due to an unexpected complication. Meanwhile, the suspect who was arrested over the discovery of an SUV with a fake number plate in Theldenia, Kandy has been remanded until the 11th of November after he was produced before the Theldenia acting magistrate Swarna Karaliyadda this afternoon. The suspect is a 60-year-old caretaker of a temple at Galthanna. Police said that the suspect was arrested last afternoon. The SUV had been hidden at the suspect's house.
The silent vigil in Timbiriga Shire took place today for the first time since the 2024 presidential election, with intentions of spreading awareness on the need to vote in the upcoming general election.
The silent vigil, which began during the time of the Aragalia, is back after the presidential election. Their demands have been constant throughout. But why are they back?
Participants of the silent vigil voiced their concerns about the importance of voting for the most qualified candidates in the upcoming parliamentary election, stressing the need to prevent thugs and goons from being elected to parliament.
While we want people to vote for, we need a strong government, we also must not forget we need a strong opposition. I think we don't want too much of power to go to the government, because we saw what happened with President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Please elect good people. Don't vote for crooks. Don't vote for robbers. Don't vote for people who have court cases against them.
Whatever your party that you're voting for, please vote for the good people, because each party has the good, bad and the ugly. Please bring in only the good people, leave aside the bad people. We don't need any more robbers. We need to get Sri Lanka on the right path.
No matter who is governing us, we want to hold them to good governance principles and accountability. So I am personally here 2 weeks before the parliamentary elections to remind people that they need to get out there and vote. Don't stay at home, vote, and vote wisely for the people who will represent you honestly and fairly in parliament and ensure that we have good governance in this country.
You have to send people to the parliament, nothing but the cross. It's your power, with your power to change, and use the cross to send good people, no rogues, no corrupt people, no people who have taken this country down. Send the correct people for the parliament in this election.
Unsustainable debts taken by the country over several decades was one of the main reasons for the economic crisis. If you are wondering what happened to the country, let's take a look.
What happened to Sri Lanka?
Sri Lanka has an insurmountable debt burden. By June 2024, Sri Lanka's debt stood at $100.65 billion USD. 57.49 billion of it is local debt. The country's foreign debt is 37.54 billion. In addition to the sum of debts obtained by several state institutions that were guaranteed by the state is $5.6 billion. There is no increase in the foreign debt for the moment because the debt restructuring process is going on. Since the debt restructuring process is still not complete, the exact amount of debt that Sri Lanka will have to pay cannot be calculated. However, Sri Lanka will have to settle all of these debts in full. 33% of the total debt taken by the country has been obtained through international sovereign bonds. That adds up to a total of $14.73 billion. In addition to that, 17% of the country's debt is from non-Paris Club member countries, while 11% of the debt is from Paris Club member states. 17% of Sri Lanka's debt is from Asian Development Bank. 12% of debt had been taken from the World Bank. Therefore, out of the total foreign debt of Sri Lanka, 39% has been obtained as international commercial loans, 22% from multinational institutions and 28% as bilateral loans. The repayment of commercial and bilateral loans had been suspended for close to 2 years. The total of 5.7 billion rupees in installments that had accrued during this time period will also have to be settled in the future. The biggest challenge the country will have to face will be the repayment of the 3.9 billion USD loan installments during the next year. However, if the debt restructuring process is disregarded, the amount of loan installments that will have to be paid during the next 10 years is 21 billion USD. This is the only debt owed to foreign countries. Many countries in the world obtain loans from the development of infrastructure facilities to face an economic crisis and for social welfare. Many countries in the world obtain loans for the development of infrastructure facilities to face an economic crisis and for social welfare. However, what was the majority of loans obtained by Sri Lanka used for? The money was used to bridge the gap in the budget and repayment of existing loans. Attention has been focused on obtaining local debt. The local debt was at 5,664 billion rupees in 2017, had risen to 6,071 billion rupees by 2018. In 2019, this value increased to 6,830 billion rupees. By 2020, the amount of local debt drastically increased to 9,065 billion rupees. In 2021, this figure rose to 11,099 billion rupees. Then it hit 15,034 billion rupees in 2022 and reached 17,052 billion rupees in 2023. By June 2024, Sri Lanka's local debt stood at 17,555 billion rupees. There is one thing that must be highlighted here. The local debt was at 6,830 billion rupees in 2018. 6 years later, it had increased threefold. At a time when the local debt became unbearable, and when accepted financial institutions were not funding failed projects in the country, certain leaders obtained these loans from various other institutions and put that burden on the general public. The amount paid as interest for loans by the public in 2015 was 425 billion. In 2016, this rose to 611 billion. In 2017, it rose to 725 billion rupees. In 2018, 820 billion rupees. In 2019, 901 billion, and in 2020 it rose to 886 billion rupees. The general public of Sri Lanka are experiencing the adverse effects of these decisions that had been made. Many generations in Sri Lanka and several generations to come have already been debtors. Would the country have fallen to this position today if the loans that were taken were utilized for productive projects?
The power of the people.
The Venerable Galabuddha Sri Gnanissara Memorial Scholarship Trust Fund was formally inaugurated in Colombo today.
The Venerable Galabuddha Sri Gnanissara Memorial Scholarship Trust Fund, established to commemorate the life and legacy of the late Venerable Galabuddha Sri Gnanissara Thera, was officially launched in Colombo today. The official launch was graced by Mahanayaka Theros, former presidents, former parliamentarians, business leaders and other dignitaries. This fund aims to carry forward the vision of the late Venerable Galabuddha Sri Gnanissara Thera by providing educational opportunities to underprivileged students and fostering the development of future leaders committed to social responsibility and sustainable development.
A clean parliament powered by NPP, Jatika Janabalavegya.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
A clean parliament powered by NPP, Jatika Janabalavegya.
Step away from the conventional art of storytelling. Get ready for the Newsfirst Breakfast Rundown with me, Zulfikar Farzan.
A clean parliament powered by NPP, Jatika Janabalavegya.
Companies play better politics than the politicians of today.
We are not supposed to play with the people's expectation. Then it will be a huge disaster.
When you're bankrupt and when you're going to bankruptcy, two different.
The grandfather is saying it is going to take this long. What does he know?
It's about the lack of sense of humor in Sri Lankans.
Issues that matter the most. Unfiltered discussions. Real answers. Face to face. Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m. on TV1.
A clean parliament powered by NPP. Jatika Janabalavegya.
Welcome back here with News First. One more student was injured in the recent bus accident along the Badulla Maihangania main road in Ambagasoya Dunhida has been transferred to the intensive care unit at the Badulla District Hospital. Accordingly, a total of 8 students who were injured in the accident are currently receiving treatment in the ICU. Meanwhile, the final rites of the 2 female students who tragically lost their lives in the accident were observed today.
A bus carrying a group of students and lecturers of the southern campus of General Sir John Kothalavala Defence University on a field trip met with an accident while travelling on the Badulla Mahiyangana main road near Ambagasoya in Dunhinda on the 1st of November. 2 students, Pubudi Tharanga, a resident of Ambakote in Kurunagala, and Isuri Upayangani, a resident of Nividigala in Ratnapura, tragically lost their lives due to the accident. Their final rites were observed today with the patronage of the General Sir John Kothalavala Defence University. Meanwhile, another student who was also injured in the bus accident and was receiving inpatient treatment at Badulla District Hospital has fled the hospital without informing the authorities. The student was a 24-year-old resident of Jayala. The Jayala police has been notified of the incident.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.